Hello, welcome back, my friends. Today I have this delightful coloring book for us to color in together. The light is reflecting weirdly off of it, but once we open it up, I think it'll be better. Okay, so the page that I have chosen, I like the sound of these pages. The one I've chosen for us today is this. This is cute oval. And to me, this looks like a night sky and a moon. And then we have clouds, mountains. I think this is maybe a lake, or do you think it's an ocean? I'm not sure. Probably a lake. And then a cat and a dog. So these markers are actually different ones than when I last did a full-length coloring video. The brand is Ho2, and it's a 60 marker set. And it came with this page that was all blank, and I filled in the colors. Yellow, orange, pink and red, purple and blue, green, gray. Let's get started with the sky. I think that it would be fun to do a combination of Indian blue and blue black. So that would be this one and this one. Okay, let's see how this goes. I'm going to be using the brush side of these markers, and I think I just want to do some little squigglies in this color. I'm all of a sudden feeling nervous and self-conscious because I don't know how this is going to turn out, and here I am doing it in front of all of you, but that is okay. Part of, in my opinion, what makes coloring videos interesting is the getting to watch the process, and not just like the process of coloring, but the thought process of the artist, who in this case is me. So I'm going to not fill in the sky totally. I'm going to leave some little blank spots just to try something different and interesting. I just love how the sky is almost always like a combination of different shades. Trying to leave a little bit of white space around some of these stars, and I might go back in with some yellow. What do you think of this interesting texture that I'm doing? I've honestly really enjoyed watching coloring videos, both full length as well as shorts. And sometimes I even look at like coloring pages on Reddit, and I just am so amazed by the level of creativity and skill that so many people have when it comes to alcohol brush markers. Okay, I'm actually loving this sky. So let's add a bit of some sort of yellow. Let's do this lightning yellow. Y107. So the reason why I have new markers is because I had ordered some markers to send to a friend of mine who lives in Central America. Unfortunately, the markers had not arrived by the time they needed to in order to be hand delivered by some other friends of mine. So I realized that I had a blank coloring book on hand and that my markers were still mostly brand new. So I decided instead to just send my markers to my friend and one of my coloring books that someone had given me for Christmas. There we go. What do we think about this? I think it's interesting. I actually love this sky. I'm already loving this page so much. Okay, so we have this dark sky, and I want to do the mountains dark. So what if we do the clouds light? I was thinking of doing maybe one of these purple colors, or maybe both. Let's pull both of those. 703, 702. And here we go. Okay. I have been really impressed with this brand of markers so far. And one of the things that I like is that it came with this plastic sheet that I can use to prevent bleed through onto the next page. So, big fan of O2 markers so far. Right. Clouds. Let's do kind of a nice thick outline. I can see why these are called brush markers, because the tip can be so thick and broad in its brush stroke, and also the ink does spread a bit. So I have this idea of what I want to do, and we're just gonna go for it and see what happens. Let's just add some more purple in the middle. Now, let's add some pastel gray blue, which is R910. And we're just going to color this on top of all of the purple and the white that we've left blank, just to give the clouds a bit of texture and interest. That's cool. And let's do the same one on these other two clouds. One of the things I like about this type of marker is that the way it looks right after you color is different than the way it looks after it kind of like settles into the paper and dries. So we shall see what it ends up looking like. Next I want to do these mountains, and I kind of like this sea pine color, and I was thinking of maybe doing just a hint of blue-black to tie it in with the sky. So here's the blue-black, and then the sea pine is G965. Here we go. Okay, let's start with the dark accents. Do just some kind of thinner lines, and mostly on, well, I guess this is the right side to me. Just a little bit there. Mountains are very textured and have lots of, I don't know, different shapes of rocks and rock faces. So that's just a little hint of that. And then I'm going to take this dark green and color over all of the mountains, including the part that we've already colored over. I guess I could leave some of the blue showing through separately, so I might do that with some of this. I guess if there are little bits of white, that could suggest some of the moonlight reflecting off of a shiny bit of rock. I'm liking the way the blue looks under the green, and I'm liking the way the green looks by itself too. I'm going to put a screenshot of Three Cedars ASMR right here. I've been continuing to really enjoy her coloring videos. To be honest, I often when I'm watching ASMR videos, I will actually turn off the sound and just watch the coloring. So for me, sometimes that is just a bit more relaxing, especially if I'm like listening to a podcast and I just want something interesting to look at, but not be able to hear it. So anyway, definitely recommend her channel. Her name is Elizabeth. And if you like coloring videos, you'll probably enjoy hers. Okay, I want to work on the dog now. Which colors would be good for this? How about henna? Y823. Can be hard to find the color that I'm looking for. Here we go. Y823. And then Cameo Brown, which is R043. And then I think I want to incorporate this warm gray for WG04. Okay, let's use these colors. And I'm going to start with this darkest color. And we're just going to kind of try and create a bit of a wood grain look. We will come back and color this dog and this cat soon. Cool. Looks good. Just do some longer strokes. Cool. And then let's fill in some with this lighter kind of orangish brown. I'm going to fill in most of the white spaces with this, overlapping it some with a darker brown. Okay, so I know I've been mostly talking about my artistic process, but I was wondering how many of you can relate to the comfort of watching a familiar TV show. So I find myself alternating between enjoying exploring new TV shows and then rewatching old favorites. So right now I'm watching one of my all-time favorite shows, which is called Switched at Birth, and I actually own all the seasons of it. I think I probably first watched it maybe 8 years ago, and then about a year and a half ago, Mr. Sandbox and I watched it together, and that was his first time to see it. And recently I had run out of like episodes of the shows I had been watching, and I decided to just rewatch an old favorite. Okay, what do we think of this dog? I think it's interesting. I kind of want to do the dog and the cat, and then we can decide what color water would look good. So for the dog, I want to do mostly this toner gray. No, mostly this warm gray, so WG00. And then I want to do some brown spots, maybe this Lauren color. Y611. Actually, I want to save this one for the cat. Let's go back to this henna color for the dog, as well as black for the dog. Okay, I'm not sure if I've got good colors pulled out or not, but let's see. So I kind of want to make some splotches on the dog. Brown splotch there. Let's have this ear be mostly brown, and a brown area on the tail. Oh, that's so cute. I love it. Okay, and then some little black spots. I love this. And one right here, and a couple little spots on the tail. Okay. I think that's so cute. Let's just use this to color in the background. Look at that. This is what the inside of these markers look like. I didn't mean to open it like that. There we go. So this will blend into being almost white, but just a hint of color. Oh, I love the way we decided to do this dog. Anyway, Switch to Birth is one of my favorite shows. I've almost finished season 1 on this current rewatch. And it's fun because some of the songs that are included in the show, like as background music, have become some of my favorite songs of all time. Oh, look at that sweet dog. Okay, so we have Y211 here and Y611 here. Okay, so this cat, let's add, yeah, let's just put these two colors together. I'm kind of like not exactly sure how to do it, but let's just give it a go. I'm gonna just do these kind of like stripe suggestions. I really don't know if that is at all realistic looking, but that's okay. This color is like almost the same color, but not quite. Anyway, one of my favorite songs that I first heard on Switch to Birth is called Brighter Than the Sun, and it's by someone whose name I am forgetting in this moment. I'll try and put it on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, look at that sweet cat. I love it. Okay, now I'm a bit uncertain about what to do with the lake. Should it be blue or gray or black? Man, this is a hard question. So we could pull back in some of this Indian blue, B227. That's what the highlights in the sky are. I have this in case I want to do a bit of a moon reflection. And then I think it'd probably be good to do this cornflower blue. That might provide a bit of a slightly muted blue color. Yeah, let's give it a try. So first we'll start with the little hints of highlight from the moon. Just gonna put a bit right there, right there, right there. Okay. And then let's use this color. Yeah, that's kind of a nice neutral muted blue. Maybe we could kind of color it all in this color and then add some low lights in that other shade of blue. We'll see. So I would love to know from you, do you have comfort shows or comfort movies that you just watch repeatedly that just help you feel a little bit more calm and safe when you need something familiar to kind of comfort you? Sometimes I like comedy shows because laughter can be refreshing. And sometimes I like light dramas that have comedic components. But also just storylines that I can kind of get lost in. I think that one of the things that I've learned over the years from going to therapy at various points is that when it comes to dealing with either everyday stressors or like stressors related to a mental health disorder or an overwhelming experience, that it tends to be helpful for most people to have multiple ways of dealing with it. And two of the broad categories would be healthy distraction. And for me, watching familiar TV shows can definitely be part of healthy distraction. And then another general concept is processing. So that could be through talk or dance or art, kind of a way to lean into and explore and discover the emotions and how to understand them and care for yourself in the midst of them. So anyway, I sometimes will purposefully alternate between distraction and processing. And I find both of those to be really helpful and healthy ways to deal with the stressors of just life in a broken society, as well as living in this chronically ill body of mine. I know that some of you really enjoy hearing me talk about mental health related topics. And if there are other ways you would like to see those incorporated into videos, please be sure to let me know. Okay, well, we've just about finished. I just did this purple, which is the same purple we used in the clouds, and I used that as a border. And I love this. I think this is so cute, so pretty, and just very kind of like dark, but also cheerful. So let me get it turned around so you can see it better. So here is our finished coloring page. We've got this purple oval, muted blue lake, bit of moon shining on the lake. Up here we have the moon, some stars, dark sky, light purple clouds. I don't like totally understand the texture, but I think it's more supposed to be a suggestion of movement and texture than a representation of like an accurate cloud. And then we have these dark green mountains, this cute dog. You can see how nicely these colors dried. Oh, I just love the little specks and splotches on this dog and the cute little stripes on the cat and the white tail. So this is our picture for the day. What do you think? What colors would you have used? Do you agree that it was intended to be a night sky? And regardless of what you think was intended, do you think you would have made it like a nighttime scene? Or would you have taken your own approach and made it into a daytime scene? Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I really appreciate you being here. And if you're looking for a way to support my channel and encourage my heart, you can hit that like button. You can leave a comment, even if it's just a little heart emoji. That just lets me know that you appreciate my work and you think we did a good job on this page. You can subscribe. You can share the video with a friend or on your community page. You also have the option, totally optional option, of becoming a channel member for as little as 99 cents a month. The main perk of channel membership is that you get early access to my videos about 1 day early. But it's mostly just a way to support my work, since I'm not able to have a traditional job because of my current level of illness. But however you subscribe, however you watch my videos, I'm so glad that you are here. And I hope that you always remember that because you are a person, you are loved and you are capable. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.